So here is Eton at his first horse trial, which is pretty exciting for me, and I know all of his followers, so this is a big deal for him. And we are competing at Majestic Oaks, which is just around the corner from my farm, which is really great to have this great facility so close. And they had a pretty good atmosphere. There was a decent turnout of riders, and I knew the judges area was going to be a source of tension for Eton. So with the green and the young horses, I really want them to be able to see the judges kind of on both sides. And the right side is the harder side for Eton. So I'm going to try to see if he'll get past it. And he goes, that's pretty scary. So I'm just going to stay behind him and redirect. You'll see when he gets a little nervous, I lean back for him and soften my hand, as that makes him a little bit more comfortable. And the bell rang, and it was time for us to go. So down the center line we go. This is Introductory Test C, which is a USDF dressage test. And we come in and we have to halt, which again, for the green and younger horses that haven't experienced the dressage ring and the judges, this can kind of be the hardest part because they're having to trot directly to them. So I was really pleased at how brave he was there. And this is his first time in amongst the whiteboards. So you'll see he'll be a little bit off the track, and I'm using an opening left rein. My hands will be a little wider, and I'm going to keep working and keep asking him to get as close to the boards as I can to where he starts to feel comfortable. And so my goal is to stay relaxed and give him a guiding hand, and to try to keep his focus inside the dressage ring. Like I said before, there is a fair amount of people around, so he's kind of every now and then paying attention to outside the ring. He picks up his canter really nicely though. His canter is one of his best gaits, and he's listening for the down transition, so that was really good. And we come across the diagonal. So I know we're going to be switching to the right side with the judges. And so he wants to give them a little bit of space, but I keep my left leg, keep the connection through my hands, and opening right rein. And I'm going to be thinking a little bit like shoulder 4 or a little leg yield to the boards because he wants to come off there into my 20-meter circle. And he's kind of bouncing up and down in the connection, and that's just the tension. Every now and then he can take the bit and open up his back. And this is just experience for him. So as we go along in the test, he's getting to understand the point in the game. Here you can see he starts to get a little distracted by something over on the right side. But then he listens quite well to the transition to the canter. And again, such a lovely canter with good cadence and a very good lift and suspension in it. And what I was really pleased about is he never once offered to kind of go outside of the little opening there. Because my number one goal is to not get eliminated. I want him to stay in the ring, which sometimes can be harder than one would think. So now we're doing our free walk, which he offered me, which was really good for him. Now he's listening. And we're nearly done with the test. Ask for the trot. And now we have to do kind of a half 10-meter turn, which can also be hard with the young horse, but I'm going to support with my left rein. Look through my turn, and he actually holds his shoulder really well. And we're coming down to our final salute through the walk and then halt. Again, I was super pleased with him, and we ended up placing in the middle of the pack, I believe 7th out of 14. And I was super pleased with his performance and how well he did.
Got the fan. Yeah.
Next was the show jump. And this is a completely new ring for him. He's never seen this ring before. Even though, again, we live pretty close by, I haven't been able to school him because we've been having some storms. So this facility is open for schooling, which is really great. He has schooled across country here, but I chose to let him trot, as I feel trotting is a really great way to slow things down for the younger and the green horses, and to let them figure out their footwork and to build their confidence. And if he felt good enough and relaxed enough to canter, then I would let him, but he is okay with trotting. And you see he kind of scooted over that one, but to be fair, it's got all the boxes to the side, which can be a little bit spookier sometimes for the greener guys. But he's doing a good job. What I like is he's staying nice and straight when I point him to a fence. And he started to relax there, and I let him canter. And again, when he gets a little unsure and he wants to drop to the trot, I'm just going to keep my body back, but making sure my hands are always going forward. The worst thing to do is when you have a young horse that's tense, and if they're unsure, is that if you pull back over the top of the fence, that will take away the confidence and in their jumping ability. So I want to make sure that sometimes I'll hold a piece of mane, but I always want to make sure that my hands are soft and giving and the horse is not impeded. And he jumps the last fence, and he did a great job. He jumped around clear, and I was super pleased with him as he was nice and forward and never really gave any worries about much. Next was cross country, and we are actually coming to fence number 7. And you'll see he'll do a little spook and do a little stage to the right. So I'm going to stay holding my left rein until I'm able to get him stopped, and then head back to the fence at the trot. He very easily jumps that, so that's okay. He just spooked at the line of jumps. It's sometimes when they're green like that, my goal is to teach them to focus and go in straight lines. So now he's feeling pretty good at the canter. Make sure I get his eye on the fence, hold my body back, and he just jumps that really nicely out of stride. Now this is the tadpole level, or also called starter level, and it's one level below beginner novice. And you'll see all of our flags are marked with certain colors, so then we know where to go, and we also walk the course previous. We walk the courses, but our horses do not see it. So jumped those two really great. Now I'm coming down the hill, so I'm asking him to rebalance. I'm going to use my seat and my upper body first, and then my hands last. See, I was able to do a trot transition and picked up the correct lead. So I want to make sure I give my horses the opportunities to be in balance. And he jumped that pretty nicely, again out of the trot, as he was a little focused on the other horse. But coming to the water, I like to take my time and let the horses see it. He even was able to get a sip of water, which is totally fine. And the green horses, I like them to take their time in the water and not feel rushed. And we do have a timed course, and we have what's called an optimum time. And so if we go too slow, we will have time faults, but the same goes if you go too fast, you will get time faults as well. So I knew I had some time to let him get a little bit of a drink on this warm day, and so now I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit coming to the last two fences. I think I had about a minute left, and I'm going to get his focus because we're coming to another line of fences. You just had to think about it for a second. And coming to the last fence, we're a little wiggly, but he soon locks on and figures it out. So I was really pleased. Felt like he built his confidence as he went. It was a very successful event for him, and I have to say, a little emotional as he's come a long way We finished up 5th out of 14, so way to go, Eton.